What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there.
What's up?
And today we are here to talk about week 6 of the NFL, week 7 of college football. We also have Casino's Corner as always.
Oh, now.
But we are starting today, Casino, on the Only Sports Podcast with our power rankings. But before we get into that, how are we doing today, Casino?
Doing pretty good. Just finished the dishes. Man, if you do not have a deep sink, please just get one. Get rid of that divider bullshit and just get a deep sink. They're the greatest thing. I had 3, this is going to be gross, but I had 3 meals worth of dishes stacked up in that sink, and it still didn't overflow. I was like, this is perfect. So I was able to get to it. It was fantastic. It was lunch, dinner, and then breakfast this morning. And then I was like, all right, I guess I should get to it. Damn. It's great. Get a deep sink.
Deep sink. I had a couple of those in college. Let's go, Casino. On to our power rankings today. I'm hyped up today.
I'm good.
I found my perfect range of sleep is 6 hours. If I get 6 hours, like right on the dot, I'm good.
I right there with you. If I could do that every day, honestly, if I get 8 hours of sleep now, I'm just groggy.
Dude, I'm just exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
it's like,
I
should stay in bed for another 4 hours. If I hit 8 hours, we'll do 12. Let's go.
We're parents, so we never get 8 hours of sleep, but the rare times we do.
No,
gross.
Even on my sleep-in days, so like my Saturday, Sunday, because I work late those nights. I get home at like 3 a.m. The wife lets me sleep in, but I'm still up at 9. I mean, I'm up at 9, and then I kind of mull around in the bedroom, get shower and whatnot, and I'm out of the room by 10. But again, it's like a 6-hour thing. I'm like, I'm up. So I can't. All right.
Hype today.
Let's get to these power rankings that are, as you said, very different, apparently.
Yeah. So first up, let's do Casino's power rankings.
Better back it up.
And first up, Casino. I brought him back. I don't know why. I don't understand why when I make them on the computer, they look fine, and then I transfer them over to slides, and they are all of a sudden a little blurry.
I mean, it looks great for me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So maybe it'll look great for you people as well. To me, it looks a little blurry. But Casino, we're going your power rankings first from 10 to 1.
Okay.
We'll go my 10 to 1, and then we will combine them to make the show's 10 for 1. So this is not the debate portion. The debate portion comes after when we try to combine our list into one. But
okay. So we're just going through them. I'm not giving reasons why.
Well, no, you justify your reasons now, but we don't debate until after I give mine. So your number 10 is the Buccaneers.
Yes, the Buccaneers. I like the Bucs. I like their offense, aka I like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield. He's been slinging the ball very well. They've played good in games. They've played bad in games, but it all drives through Baker. Their defense isn't the greatest. That's where my concern is with them. This is where my concern is going to be with the majority of the bottom of this half of this list. But the reason they're 10, and you'll see coming up next on who I have is 9, they are 10 mainly because they can still sling the ball with Baker. They're still winning good games that, people aren't expecting to win. But they're going to sit 10 for me.
Not on my top 10.
That's fair. That's totally fine.
10. Next up, Casino, you have their NFC South companions, and that is the Falcons.
Yep. They're also low on this list because of their defense. However, they did beat the Bucs, so I'm going to give the Falcons their credit and their due to beat them currently. As I've said, and I still have both of these teams making the playoffs. I really do. Falcons, Kirk Cousins, very surprising. He had an amazing game. I love it. So I'm going to go with the Falcons at 9. I like what they're doing. Kirk Cousins is looking good as of late. Their defense still worries me, so I'm going to put them at 9. Only reason the Bucs aren't ahead of them is because they won the head-to-head.
Your number 8, the Packers.
All right. Of course, as soon as we start this podcast, my daughter's hungry after she just ate like a pancake the size of her face. Anyway, the Packers. I like the Packers. They're a young team. They're good. I I'm worried about Jordan Love coming back and being 100% healthy. I don't think he is. So that concerns me. But they can show that they can beat almost any team they need.
That's true. And also with your first three, you had the 30th ranked defense, 20th ranked defense, and then 23rd ranked defense. So you are correct when you say defense was a question mark on your three bottom picks. I believe the Bucket or the Falcons.
Well, and all my concerns are going to be their defense. Yes. And then Packers, Jordan Love, if he can put that together, because I think he's still playing okay, but that hurt him. That hurt him. But
Yeah. Your next pick, Casino, the Buffalo Bills.
they're only 7 because of that dumbass play that they had. They should be much higher on my list, but if they're gonna make horrible, horrible decisions like that, and I understand they had or the Texans had 3 timeouts and you needed the first down, but you should have at least ran the clock down to damn near 0 before you try to get that first down. So I didn't like that play, and it is all on Josh Allen. So if he doesn't have a good game, kind of worries me. So they're going to sit 7 for right now because I still think they're an amazing team. But if we're going to have bad,
Your thing just randomly muted.
that
There you
was,
go.
yep, because Josh Allen being concussed, in my opinion, he should not have been on that. I really hope that the Bills get in trouble for this. Because
They
he
will.
shouldn't. I mean, he's 9. He went 9 for. He was 9 for 27 at that point. So I heard Matt Ryan talk about this, and man, was he spot on. At that point in time, Josh Allen was 9 and 27. It was just not his night. So you should not try to get him to pass the ball for that first down. It just
Or just have him try to run it.
right.
Like him
But
try to run it. Yeah.
exactly. But I was right there. Matt Ryan, if you watched about that, he was spot on.
That
Continue.
clip. Next up, your number 6 casino is the Washington Commanders.
The Commanders, they're high up there. Their defense worries me still, but man, oh man, is that offense legit? That offense is outstanding. As we talked about last episode, you have Jaden Daniels in the front runner for the MVP, obviously the front runner for Rookie of the Year. The Commanders' offense, you can't stop them. You can't stop them. They're outstanding. They're going to put up points. You just have to beat their defense. That's it. So they're sitting 6. I like them, but their defense is shaky. And that's another reason why I have, that lower half of the list concerns me is defense.
Yeah. Now we go into your top 5 casinos, starting with the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions, they still have every piece they need. They do to be an outstanding team and even a Super Bowl championship team. They're shaky. They're being shaky. They're coming off a bye. So, they could be ranked higher or lower, but we're not sure. They didn't play last week. So I'm going to leave them at the 5 because it's early on in the season. I want to see them do a little bit better. They're in every game, even the ones they've lost. So I want them to be a little bit better, and they need to start showing it now. But I couldn't justify putting them any lower, especially since they didn't play last week.
True. Now your number 4, the Baltimore Ravens.
Their grit is huge because they started the season 0-2. They could have easily just blinked and they would have been screwed, But they have been rolling since, they've won 3 straight. They're 3-2. I like how they have turned the tides on their season. Like they was doom and gloom. It was doom and gloom. So I like that. I like the running game a lot. I liked what I saw with Lamar Jackson throwing the ball last week. I've always been on the fence with his throwing ability. Like he can have it or he doesn't have it. If he can get that all figured out and they could just solely worry about the run game, we're good. So have them at 4. They've turned their season around. And yes, they almost lost to Cincinnati. That's an in-division game. They've always beat the shit out of each other, even though the Ravens have the majority of those wins. That's why I'm going Ravens at 4.
Your top three casinos starts with the Houston Texans.
They're winning games. They're winning games. It's as simple as that. They're 4-1. They're 4-1. Have they been pretty? No. They have not been pretty games. However, they are still winning. They're still winning. So, I mean, should the Bills should have won that game last week? Possibly, but it would have gone to OT, and we could have figured it out in OT. But the Texans are finding little ways to win. It's early in the season. I think they'll figure it out, just like the Lions. I think we'll figure it out. I like the Texans. They've doing what I thought they would do, and they are competitive in every game, and they are putting up the W's when they need to put up the W's.
Your number two is the show's Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, what can I say about them? I mean, they're undefeated. First off, they're undefeated. Sam Darnold is impressing everybody. All of their offensive weapons are great. Again, they're still missing a couple guys. Like this team, and their defense is way better than people thought they were going to be. So I'm really high on the Vikings. They have a really good shot. They have a really good shot of like losing three games, give or take, a game. I could see them be a two-loss team. I could see them being a 4-loss team. They're really good. I'm gonna get you something to eat. I love you. You just ate a whole bunch of food, but I will get you something to eat. I swear, I feed my kid. I promise. She's not starving. Everybody, she's not starving. I promise.
And your number one pick, was there any doubt? The Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, they have to be, man. When you have the refs on your side and you're still Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, like how can you not go against them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is, and here is a picture of Casino's top 7. Also, if you see on the right-hand side, you can see that little white edge. That wasn't there when I was making the slide. So that's what I'm talking about. When I transport them over, it gets all fucked
You're
up.
horrible.
I'll fix it. But for Casino's top 7, because I tried to fit 10 on here, it didn't look good. So 7 was the one where it looked pretty good. You have Chiefs at 1, Vikings at 2, Texans 3, Ravens 4, Lions 5, Commanders 6, and Buffalo Bills 7. Will any of these teams, Casino, let's specifically talk top 7, will any of them shift drastically or not drastically based on their performances this week? Is anybody on the fence for you?
Yeah, honestly, the Lions, the Bills, and even the Commanders, even though I'm high on the Commanders, I said they would be a playoff team. They're above my expectations, honestly. But so I would say that whole bottom line, that 5 through 7 right there, they can all go the other way. I mean, if Josh Allen is all wonky donkey, I still think that they'll win that division because I have no faith in the Jets, especially losing their head coach and replacing it with another defensive coach. This is going to go very well over there. And then the Lions, they need to prove it to me. They need to prove they have every weapon in their arsenal. On paper, they've shown it on the field when they need to, but they need to be more consistent.
Yeah. Now it's time for my top 10 Casino.
They're going to be horrible.
I obviously saw your top 10 because I had to put this together, but you have not seen my top 10. So this will be as surprising to you as it will be the watchers or listeners of this show. So my first up, my number 10, I actually have a team you don't have in your top 10, and that's the Seahawks.
Okay.
I really like the Seahawks. I think
they were just outside.
I think right now the Seahawks, we're recording this Thursday morning, so especially if they win tonight in Seattle against the San Francisco 49ers.
We'll get to those picks.
Yeah, this is a huge game. Seahawks right now, 6th in the league in total offense, 13th in the league in total defense. Much better stats than I have teams above them, but again, there's just something about the Seahawks team where they're 3-2. They just lost a brutal game to the Giants. If we would have done these power rankings last week, I think I would have had Seahawks potentially my top 5. But that loss to the Giants, I mean, obviously Giants are better than we thought they were, but that was a real killer in terms of their rankings on my list. Not enough to drop them out of the top 10. A team that did lose last week as well, that probably should have dropped out of the top 10, but I just can't quit them, Casino. And this week they are, who are they playing? Oh, they're playing the Raiders. I have my number 9 team, the Steelers. So I think last week
You know how I
isn't,
feel about the Steelers, man.
yeah.
I
I
just they're great, but they're bad. But they're great. Depends on which I pick.
I think last week again was an outlier. That was a weird game. It was delayed by almost 2 hours. They literally lost on the last play of the game. Uh, Justin Fields, ironically, had his best game of the season playing last week in a loss. They still have a top 10 defense. They have a top 11 rushing offense in the league. So top 10 defense. They can control the clock. Justin Fields has been shockingly good this year. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also has 3 rushing touchdowns, almost 200 yards. So Fields is getting it done. He's what we've always talked about, which we like from our quarterbacks, especially our young quarterbacks: protect the ball, don't turn it over. And yeah, so they don't turn the ball over, they control the clock, and they play top 10 defense. I think the Steelers are still pretty legit. But they're not as legit as my number 8 team, the Commanders.
Okay. All right.
So
Sure. You're not as
lower
high
on
on them
my
as me. Mhm.
yeah, lower on my list than you do. I am actually higher on what I think their ceiling is this season. I think right now it's no question they win the NFC East. And this is coming from an Eagles fan. I don't think the Eagles this year have gotten over the collapse of last year. I still don't think, we talk about how bad the Cowboys are every week. I don't think that win against the Steelers last week did anything to change my mind.
So
So
we're this far into your power rankings. I can conclude that the Cowboys are not in your top 10.
Eagles and Cowboys, shockingly, not my top 10. And
So
I'm
I,
sorry,
I want to say
Casino.
I looked through because I just want to see where my top 10 compared to like all the experts out there.
Yeah,
They have so many people have the Cowboys still in their top 10. I'm like, fucking how?
I don't get it.
Dak's playing really good, but no.
If they
Ugh,
made the playoffs, I'd be shocked. If them or the Eagles made the playoffs at this point, I'd be shocked.
yeah.
But yeah, so when it comes to the Commanders, we've talked about it last week. Their defense shot up the rankings after their last game, so now they're 14th in the league. Defense is getting better. My only concern is this feels like the first couple weeks of the Saints football, where it was like they were putting up these ungodly offensive numbers, and then you're like, this is never going to end. And then all of a sudden they have one rocky week and they can never get back to that high octane offense. So I'm always reluctant to put my beliefs in a team where it's like they're doing something historic that's never been done. And then we're just presumed that that's going to continue the entire season. It doesn't happen, Casino. So this, like, it's really impressive with how great Jaden Daniels has been this season, especially with the completion percentage. But
Yeah.
that there's no way that lasts for another, what, we're in week 6. There's no way that lasts till January or February. My next up, Casino, my number 7 pick, I have the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
I was choosing between either the Bucks or the Falcons to put on this, and then obviously Falcons won last week against the Bucks. Kirk Cousins now, like, 2 or 3 times this season, and he was doing it all last season as well before he got injured, is now all of a sudden really good in prime time. And just like that stigma is just completely washed away from him.
No,
So
he is still prime time Cousins. It's just now he is prime time Cousins.
yeah, now it's like a good thing and not used as like a slight against him. But Falcons defense worse than it was last year. But again, they're still figuring themselves out. It's still early in the season. I think they can course correct. And also looking at their schedule, they've played Mahomes,
I mean,
they've
we
played
say it's early in the
powerhouses.
season, but it's also like a third away in the season.
Yeah, but I'm also saying they've played some big time offensive teams, and so I feel like they'll get better as the season goes on because they're not playing Mahomes every week,
Yeah.
right? So, my next up, and this is, my screen just went dark. Next up is my number 6 team, which actually these are out of order, so I have to jump.
Just go quick. Just go quick. Just be like, ka-chugga, chugga, chugga. Just
So
press the button.
my number 6 pick casino is the Buffalo
Okay,
Bills.
so not too far from mine.
Yeah, I still believe in them. I think that again, last week was just weird, and it is potentially one of those weird things that can stick with them for the rest of the season, but their defense is still legit. Josh Allen is still probably the second or third best quarterback every week in the NFL.
As long as he's not concussed.
Yeah, you talked about their division where I have no faith in the Dolphins. Your team is now starting a rookie quarterback this week, and then the Jets
Pray for
just
him.
fired their head coach. So the Bills should run away with that division, and then literally all they have to do is beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and I think they can beat anybody else. I think I would take it'd be a toss-up. I think if we were betting, it'd be like a 1.5 game if it was them in Baltimore again. So speaking of Baltimore, I have them as my number 5 team casino. Uh they've seemed to finally have figured it out. And after, again, they were 0-2 to start the season. In 2 games, they could have easily won. Obviously, the Chiefs one was a finger or a toe away. The Raiders game was just weird, and they just felt like half of that game they didn't even care, and they just felt like, oh yeah, it's the Raiders, we'll just beat them, and then time ran out on them. But I still think Lamar Jackson is right there in the mix with best quarterback in the league with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So their defense is always great. I have no question marks. Next up, I have the Houston Texans casino. And
I'm missing a team here. You're missing a team here. There's somebody high up on your list that I'm confused about.
well, let's get through the rest of the list, casino. I have the Houston Texans. Again, they are at this moment, I think on a no, where is I just had them.
No, the
Oh, there we go.
Texans play the Pats this week, and it's going to be a
Yes.
blowout, and it's going to be horrible.
And they are 4-1. They're top 5 in offense, top 10 or top 5 in defense, number 1 passing attack in the league. So again, and that's when you watch them and you're like, something's up with them. They're not as dynamic as they were last year.
And that's crazy that they're this good
Yeah,
still.
that's what I'm saying. They're top 5 in both offense and defense. And when you watch them, you're still like, I don't know, something's missing, even though they're clearly one of the best teams in the league. Maybe even too low on my list. But next up, casino, my number 3 team, I actually think I like the Lions more than I do the Texans right now, just because I've liked what I've seen from the Lions. I think they're more dynamic offensively because they actually have a running game as opposed to the Texans, who are kind of just throwing in anybody and seeing what sticks. So I have the Detroit Lions. They have the number 6 ranked defense in the league, 19th in offense. But like I said, they have a much more balanced passing and rushing attack than the Texans do. So I just like them because I feel like they have a better chance of beating you in the passing game, beating you on the running game, and then just playing as good a defense as the Texans do. So also, I think right now their schedule has been harder. And again, they have a revenge game this week against the Cowboys. So yeah. And then my number 1 and 2 are no different from yours, Casino. My number 2 is the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold, I said he was the only question mark on this team going into the season. Well, so far, the questions have been answered, and he is very good, right? And he is leading them, and he's not managing the game. He's winning these games. He's throwing 4 touchdowns a game to all their playmakers, and that's without Hawkinson. That's without, a couple of their other starters on offense and defense that are gradually going to come back during the season. So the only 2 undefeated teams, obviously Chiefs are number 1. Only 2 undefeated teams should be 1 and 2 in everybody's power rankings. And just based on what the Chiefs have done in the past, obviously the Chiefs should be number 1 across the board, even though they're not particularly playing well this season. Their defense is down. Their offense with Mahomes, he's statistically, and just when you watch the games, he's having the worst season he's ever had. and yet they're still undefeated. They're ninth ranked in total defense, where I think the past like 3 years they've been top three pretty much
Right.
the entire year. So they've fallen off a little, not as bad as it looks, but yeah. So there's my top seven, Casino. Any questions?
What was the your top three again, or your bottom three? Because I feel like I missed one. Because
So my
You didn't have the Packers in there, right?
I did not.
Okay,
I had the Seahawks instead of the Packers
so
and
I had the
Steelers.
Bucks and the Packers. Where did you?
I had Steelers, Seahawks instead of
Steelers was
Bucks
the other
and
one. That's right.
Packers. Yeah. So
Steelers and
my 10 was
got it.
Seahawks,
No, no, you're good. You're good. It
Steelers.
was Steelers that I was like, what happened? I was like that. That's
Yeah.
why I thought I missed a team. I
So
mean, for the
now,
most part, our top seven are all the same teams. They're just a little jumbled.
yeah. So now, Casino, we have to put
Mostly top six.
together our top. We are not going to do our top seven. We're just going to put together our top, yeah, our top seven, Casino. So who do you disagree with in this top seven?
The Falcons.
Okay, who would you like to replace them with?
I replaced them with my Commanders.
Hmm.
I would 100% replace them with my Commanders. I have the Commanders at 6.
And
I
then
mean,
the rest
that
of them would
defense,
be
as
okay?
you said it. So here, now we're going to debate. We're going to debate. We're going to debate. You said it yourself. The Commanders' defense has gotten better. They jumped all the way up to the 14th best defense, overall defense. And that offense is still legit. And everybody says, oh, well, next week is the week that the Jaden Daniels is going to run into, a defense that can stop him, No, like he hasn't. He keeps putting up points. I don't understand. And he's a rookie quarterback, and the Commanders are doing outstanding. I can't see how you can put the Falcons, who I have them at 9, but I can't see how you can put the Falcons ahead of the 4-1 Commanders, who have a rookie quarterback. Who have a rookie quarterback that had no shot, that everybody thought they were not going to make the playoffs. Most everybody. So I just can't understand how you don't have the Commanders moved up. I will say I don't. I'm not going to put them any higher than what you have. I'll say that. That's fine. You can. Everything else is wherever. I know I have them a little better than the Bills, but that's just because of Josh Allen's concussion that I know that he has, that they will not admit that he has. That worries me. But yeah, I don't see how you don't have the Commanders in your top 7. I just don't.
So that would be the only difference we would have, right? For the top 7?
I mean, because I like your arguments, the Texans and the Lions, we just need to see what they can do. I'm just not putting the Lions that far up. Like you have them at 3, I have them at 5. Is they had a bye week. They could have easily lost this week. We don't know. So to me, I can't put them up at 3 when they haven't shown me that they're a game behind everybody. I need to see more. When there's still question marks around them.
Yeah.
That's kind, and I can live with everything else that you have up there.
Okay. I'm stalling so I can do this.
Well, I'll continue talking. So you have the Bills at 5. Again, I think that's too high up. They could be higher up, but how they managed the end of that game was bad. And Josh Allen going 9 for 30 with a possible concussion, that's bad. And how that organization has handled that's bad. So I'm worried about that. That all that being bad, I'm worried about them. They can be 7 for me. That's where they are. 5 is a little generous. Are they a great team? Yes. A couple weeks ago, we had them as the best team in the league. So worried.
I've been watching. What is it? I've been watching all the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes, and I just watched the one where it's Homer goes to get Bart a Krusty doll that he finds out is cursed, and then it's like he goes to the shopkeeper and he keeps doing that thing where he's like, this is a doll made of evil, and then Homer goes, that's bad, and then the the shopkeeper goes, but it comes with your choice of free yogurt, and then he goes, that's good, and then they just keep going back and forth. So when you just kept saying that's good, it made me think of that. But this is what I wanted to show, Casino. It is now official as our pick for the Only Sports Podcast Power Rankings. Our top 7 are as follows: Kansas City
I can live with that.
Chiefs,
I can live with that.
Minnesota Vikings number 2, the Lions number 3, the Texans number 4, Buffalo Bills or Ravens are switched. So Buffalo Bills are 6, Ravens are 5, and
Okay. That
Commanders are 7.
100% I can live with that. If you switch the Bills and the Ravens, I
Yeah.
think that's a good power rankings for us.
And you know what? I'll switch them right now.
Oh, wow,
Whoop,
you're getting them some live feed right here of
whoop.
whoop. Look at
There we
that.
go.
Oh,
That's
man,
it
that
right
beak
there.
is right up that Bill's ass.
Let me try to shift him.
Whew.
No, there's nothing
No.
we can do.
No,
It's
no,
nothing we can
it's
do.
that beak's gonna be in that ass all day.
But that was the Only Sports Podcast Power Rankings, and I don't think I shifted it from where it said Casinos Power Rankings to where it said my Power Rankings. So, yeah, I have a
They knew
light
what's up.
that's blocking my screen, so that's why I never really see what's in the little bubble down there. But now, Casino, that took a good chunk of time. Let's briefly talk about college football week 7, and then we will move on to our picks, do Casino's Corner, and get out of here. So when it comes to our college football picks this week, Casino, there's obviously a bunch of big games this week. We have Texas, Oklahoma. We have Ohio State, Oregon, Ole Miss, LSU. For
Ohio
UNLV
State, Oregon's
purposes,
gonna be the best one,
yeah,
and I
UNLV
have a feeling
purposes.
Ohio State's gonna blow out Oregon.
Ooh, yeah. Well, this is the Oregon playbook, right? This is what happens. They
Oh,
get
yeah.
hyped up this season. They're number 3 in the nation, always going into a big game against a ranked
But they
opponent,
weren't good
and
at
then
the
they just
beginning of
get
the season.
annihilated. That's true. That's true. But you think Oregon State's going to blow out Oklahoma? I agree. When it comes to Ole Miss, LSU, who you got?
I'm gonna go LSU. I don't like the loss that Ole Miss had earlier this season.
Yeah. Uh LSU had that really embarrassing loss against USC that now even looks worse coming or from what USC has done, which is fall completely out of the top 25. I still think I'm going to go Ole Miss, but I would
Just
not be
heads up, I'm
shocked.
trying to mute as my daughter bites into her crackers right next to the mic. But if you hear it, that's what it is.
And then the other big game we got to talk about, Casino, is number 1 Texas at number 18 Oklahoma. I don't think this is a blowout, but I do think this is the week where it's now the consensus that Texas is the
Texans are the
best team in
best
the
team in the
nation.
league. Yeah.
Yeah,
In the league. I say the league, but
I
it
say
feels like it.
nation,
You
the
know what?
world.
Another one that I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes on is the Alabama South Carolina game. I want to see how shook Alabama is after that loss to Vanderbilt.
That's true. This is either going to be a really close game where you're like, "Oh man, maybe that loss really affected Alabama," or they're just going to come out and blow the doors
Yeah.
off them like 63-14.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, any other games piquing your
No.
interest?
No.
Uh Boise State, Hawaii will be
Oh,
interesting.
Boise State Hawaii is my blowout of the week for the top 10 or
Ooh.
top for the top 25. It's Hawaii is not good and Boise State is absolutely crushing. The Hawaiian Rainbow Warriors are going to get smoked.
And then also I think Arizona, BYU, and Kansas State, Colorado will be really fun to watch. Colorado again getting the primetime game Saturday night. They're getting the late game with Boise State, Hawaii. So Colorado, Kansas State, definitely going to be watching that one. I've liked what I've seen from Kansas State this year. And Colorado, I mean, what are they? They are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1. Only loss was against Nebraska where they got absolutely rolled. And then that was when I thought, oh, Nebraska is going to be really good this season. And then they lose that absolutely heartbreaking overtime game to Illinois. And then they really haven't done anything since. They beat Purdue and then beat Rutgers by 7. So yeah, I had hopes for you, Nebraska, and the Patrick Mahomes clone at quarterback, but that is in the past. Now, Casino, it is time to move on to our official, if I can find it, our official marquee mid and miserable. But first, let's update the picks just in case you missed last episode.
NFL picks. All right.
Last episode, Casino, we told the people that I
Yee.
got 6 correct, you got 7 correct, so the season total stands at me 38 and you with a 2-game lead at 40. So going into this week, also you have gotten dangerously close the past 2 weeks of predicting a score just right on. So the second you do, this place is going to go nuts. But
Yeah, let's do it.
so the marquee mid and miserable, me and
Ugh.
Casino talked about this before the show. This is a rough week.
Yeah, there's
Just
like to me, there's one marquee, and then all the rest are miserable to mid to miserable.
yeah, you can make a case of where you could switch really any mid or miserable game. You cannot make a case that really any game can move up to marquee matchups. I even felt like I was stretching to find marquee matchups, but I got 3. We'll discuss them.
And I can
First
see
up,
how we can make those marquee and sell the point. So let's go
yes.
for it.
So for marquee matchups, first up, we have 49ers at Seahawks. The
In
Thursday night
division game.
games have surprisingly been pretty good this year,
Yeah.
Casino. And just in terms of matchups and then the games themselves. So we have the 2-3 in division matchup for NFC West, 2-3 San Francisco 49ers at the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks. Who you got?
I'm going the Seattle Seahawks at home.
And your score?
I'm gonna go 26-17.
Ooh, I like it. Little spicy. I am going to go. I think this will be a low scoring game. Both these offenses. San Francisco has the second ranked offense. Seattle has the sixth ranked offense. 49ers 12th ranked defense. Seattle Seahawks 13th ranked defense. So these teams are almost identical, except the 49ers are a much better running team than
That's
the
fair. But I think this is the game that's gonna separate the Seahawks to be the top of that division.
Yeah, I'm going very similar to yours. I'm
I
going
mean, they are already top of that
24-17.
division, but to extend their lead on the
Well,
Niners.
also, if the 49ers fall to 2-4 and the Seahawks are 4-2, that pretty much, I feel like that seals up that division pretty early.
Well, I mean, Cardinals are. We'll get to that game, but yeah, I agree. But
Uh,
I like how Gino's been playing. Let's do it.
yeah, no, I agree. Next up, Casino's only marquee matchup of the week, and that is his Commanders at the Baltimore Ravens. I think this is both of our best games of the week,
This is
right?
gonna be the game I'm gonna pay most attention to.
Yes,
I'm pretty much just gonna I'm just gonna pull up Red Zone and then this game and just have them side by side. I'm not gonna do the 4 that I normally do.
I agree, because when you look at the early window games, they are brutal,
Dog shit.
brutal. But who you
And I
got in this
guarantee
one,
you,
Casino?
nobody's gonna wake up for that Bears Jags game at 6:30 a.m.
No.
Pacific time. Hell no.
And that's why I moved that game from a mid to a miserable, because I forgot it was an overseas game until I was looking it up. But who you got in Commanders Ravens, Casino?
Oh, it's gonna be a high scoring game, in my opinion, and I'm gonna go Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to continue to roll. I think they're going to win their 4th straight, just because the Commanders' defense, which has gotten better, I don't think the defense can handle Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and just their brute strength that they're going to bring to that game. The Commanders, I'm worried about Jaden Daniels in this game because you've talked about it. The Ravens hit hard. They always have. I'm worried that this could be an injury game for Jaden Daniels, and I'm fingers crossed that it doesn't happen.
So you are picking the Ravens in this one.
I am picking the Ravens in this game, and I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I'm actually going to go 34-24.
34-24. Wow.
I mean, what Baltimore showed me with their defense last week kind of worried me. I know that Joe Burrow just went balls out in that game. And I feel bad for him that he didn't win that game. He has put up like over 100 points in his last 4 games, and he's lost all of them, like, or whatever that
Yeah.
stat is. It's insane. He's had such a really good season, and his team is so bad. Oh, I feel so bad for Joey B right now. So bad, like so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Uh
I don't think this is going to be worried at all. The Washington Commanders will drop to 4-2. Ravens go up to 4-2. I think the Ravens are just can continue to roll. I think they found their stride.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. These teams also, much like 49ers Seahawks on paper, almost dead even on everything. They have the first and third offense in the league. Baltimore has first, Commanders have third, which is nuts. They are the 1 and 2 best rushing teams in the league. Ravens number 1, Commanders number 2. Their defenses are 5 apart. Their passing are 5 apart. So literally, they are within 5 of each other in almost every category, offensively and defensively, which is nuts. I do just think when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens and their defense and just their coaching squad, I think they're one of the best in the league when it comes to playing bad quarterbacks or inexperienced quarterbacks or rookie quarterbacks. So I do think that kind of been there, done that mentality of the Ravens is going to be the thing that edges them out over this Commanders team. I don't think the
I'm rooting. Don't get me
Commanders,
wrong. I'm rooting for the Commanders because I think the Ravens will be just fine. But I
yeah.
want the Commanders to win this because I obviously that was my hot take at the beginning of the year. I want it to continue to roll. I want everything about it.
So I am going 31-21 Baltimore
So
Ravens.
just three points down in both direction. Got it on both teams.
Well, no, I picked 31-21. So I
Oh,
picked
I
10.
thought I picked 30. What did I pick?
You picked
34.
34-24. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had
So that's what
10
I'm saying.
points. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's 10 points, but it's the same. It's just 3 points less for each team.
Oh, I get what you're saying. But next up, this game I really think is just marquee based on how it happened last year, and this you factor in revenge and all that kind of
I'm
stuff.
just putting in this because it's the Cow fucking boys.
This is Lions at Cowboys, first matchup since last year's just abysmal call that cost the Lions potentially a Super Bowl. Right, like that cost them from being the number 1 seed, and a bunch of chicanery came out of that game. But we have the 3-2 Detroit Lions traveling to 3-2 Cowboys, coming off that big Sunday night win. Who you got, Casino?
I mean, they squeaked by the Steelers. I am not picking them again against the Lions. I mean, they are 0-2 at home. I think that's going to stay the trend. I think they're going to go 0-3 at home. The Lions, again, to me, this is a prove it game. Like every game has been a prove it game, and they're just still right there on the fence. I really do think that this is going to be the Lions game. I think the Cowboys barely beating the Giants and barely beating the Steelers does not make them a good team. I mean, they're both out of our top 10 that they, yeah, I'm not high on them. So I'm going to go Lions, and I'm going to go 28-21.
28-21. I
28
like
to 20. Yeah, 28-21. Yeah, I like that.
You know what? I am agreeing with you on the score, 28-21, even though actually I'm going to go 28-24 because I think the best player on the Cowboys this year has been their kicker, who just has he's going to make a kick this year from like 70 yards, or he's at least going to attempt one. Aubrey is just having the season of a kicker's life. But I do think really the only 2 bright spots on this Cowboys team this year has been Dak Prescott and then their kicker. Like obviously CeeDee Lamb is there, but he has always to me shrunk in like big moments and always just been the kind of what I hate most about the Cowboys is where they annihilate bad teams and then kind of just don't show up against the good ones, right? That's been the story of
That's
basically the
all. Yeah,
Dak
it's been their
Prescott
story.
Mike McCarthy relationship. So I do think the Cowboys, they're still even after last week where it was like, oh, Doddle had a career day, still 31st in rushing in the league, which is you can't win games in this league being the 31st worst at something. I really believe that their either defense is banged up, all their star players missed last game. And again, last week you were playing against Justin Fields, throwing to nobody, and Najee Harris. Now you're playing against a top 19th ranked offense, which looks bad on paper, but when you watch
Yeah.
them play, they're much better than what their rankings are. They're the sixth ranked defense. So I think you honestly you beat this Dallas team by locking up CeeDee Lamb and then just
And
being like,
and the
well,
Lions are
beat us.
favored. The Lions are favored by 3, man.
Yeah, especially with the Cowboys at home. Like you said, the Cowboys are not good at home this year. So also factor in revenge game for the Lions. And I think it has potential to be blowout of the week. Who knows? We've seen the Cowboys get blown out twice already this year. But let's move on now. Casino, we are on. That's all we had from our key games. We just
Yeah.
had those three.
Now we're just gonna start
Now,
rolling through some pick'ems here so we can get on out of here.
yeah,
We have a
mid
short
and
we have a short week we have to take care of here.
yeah. The mids casino, Cardinals at Packers. You know I can't quit the Cardinals, especially after their last minute win last
Okay,
week
so is
against
this
the
your upset of the
49ers.
week then?
No,
Because
because every
Packers.
time I pick them to be upset of the week, they lose.
Oh, well, I was gonna say because Packers are -5, man.
Dang, it's that much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is in Green Bay. The 2-3 Cardinals travel to 3-2 Green Bay Packers. Packers right now fourth in total fourth in total offense, 23rd in defense. Cardinals 26 in defense, 12th in total offense. Very similar in terms of rushing. They're 3-4, but in passing, Packers are top 10. Cardinals are 23rd. I'll go first on this one, Casino.
Please and thank
I
you.
was flirting with the Cardinals, but I am going to go with the Packers. I think they get on a little bit of a roll here. I do agree when we were talking about the rankings. I'm concerned if Jordan Love is still hurt or is hurt more than he's letting on because we've seen quarterback seasons just get absolutely annihilated just because they're playing with a injury the whole season and just Love does only have a 56% completion percentage this year. So the league average, I feel like, is around 65. So he's almost
Yeah.
10 to 15% worse than every other starting quarterback, which will catch up to them. But yeah, I like what the Packers have on offense. Their defense leaves less to be desired, but Cardinals are so up and down. I don't know what to make of them. I'm picking I'm picking Packers. Uh, let's go 21-14. I'll pick a
Oh, okay.
straight up
I'm
easy one.
going Packers 20-17.
Ooh. Yeah, I think everybody's going to expect this one to be like a blowout, shoot 'em up, back and forth kind of
No,
thing. I don't
I'm
think it
taking
gets
the
there.
under. The over under is 47.5. I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I would agree. Next up, our mid casino in division game, NFC South, the Buccaneers at the Saints. And the Saints will be starting Rattler. So he will be a rookie quarterback making his start this game.
I'm going to go the Bucks. I think they bounce back after that crazy game against the Falcons. So I'm gonna choose the Bucks. I think Baker's still going to bake. Again, I do have them at my top 10 of my top 10. So not sold, but I think against the rookie quarterback, I think they'll get it done, even though they're in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think I was picking the Bucks before the Derek Carr news came out, but now that it's going to be no Derek Carr and it's going to instead be Spencer Rattler. I didn't like Spencer Rattler when he was in college.
No,
I've never liked Spencer Rattler, so he annoys me to no end. I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks we've seen in a long time. He gives me real bad
Juju.
Johnny Manziel vibes. So I think he's just going to crash and burn. But yeah, he'll Derek Carr, I think, is only missing this game. I think it's just a temporary injury. When you look at the stats for both these teams, again, weirdly similar, but obviously the passing and their offense takes a major dip with Derek Carr out. So I agree with you. I think it's Buccaneers. And what was your score for this one?
I'm gonna go 27-14 for the Bucks.
I think this is gonna be my blowout of the week. Again, I just have no uh I have no interest in a Spencer Rattler game. I'm going 31-10
Hmm.
Buccaneers. I think they destroy them. But let's go to our next mid game, which I almost put in marquee because I think this one is oddly fascinating, Casino. And that's Chargers at Broncos. Broncos much better than I thought they would be. So my apologies to the guys I was arguing with in the
No,
comments.
never
Uh,
apologize. Never apologize.
their offense is still abysmal, but so is the Chargers for whatever reason. And both these teams' defenses, right now, the Chargers have the second best defense in the league, which is the Jim Harbaugh effect, which is just this is what happens. The Broncos shockingly have the fourth ranked defense in the league, which I think might be the biggest shocker this season. I don't think Bo Nix has played particularly well. I think he's a very good mobile quarterback, but when it comes to passing, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Their passing, I mean, the Chargers have the 32nd ranked passing attack in the
Yeah,
league,
that's bad.
which,
Well, we knew that they were going to be a rushing team. We've talked about it.
well, they have the 23rd best rushing attack in the
Well, I
league.
mean,
So
it doesn't matter. We're still saying that that was going to be a thing. Anyway, I am saying this is going to be the lowest scoring game of the week. I am going to pick the Chargers, regardless of the Broncos. The Chargers are -3. I'm I was very close to calling the Broncos on this one and switching. However, I am going to go Chargers on this one. I think it's going to be a really sad game, like a sad game. Um, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 13-10 Chargers.
you son of a bitch. I
That was
was
yours.
literally that was literally I was writing down my score as you fucking said that. 13-10 Chargers. Like you said, Broncos games are not fun to watch this season, and they are really again, we can knock this down as
And I
worst game of
honestly
the
forgot the
week.
Chargers were a team.
Well, also, these numbers are extremely skewed because the Chargers did just have a bye week. So they are also coming off a bye week, which I feel like should give them the advantage over the Denver Broncos. Also, I don't like Sean Payton, so I don't want him
Ugh.
to succeed. So I don't want the Broncos to
And we
be
like the
good or at
Harbaugh,
least
so
viable. Yeah. But let's move on to our next game, Casino. Monday night
well through.
Bills at Jets with their new head coach. I'm sure that'll fix all their problems. 3-2 Bills at 2-3 Jets. Jets win this game and they are number one in the NFC or the AFC East. Who you got, Casino?
I'm gonna pick the Bills. I'm nervous. I'm telling you now, I'm fucking nervous about this game just because, dude, the Bills are only a 2.5 point favorite here. I'm nervous. The Josh Allen situation bothers me. How he threw the ball last week, and I think he was concussed, and they're doing a whole Miami cover up. I'm
Yeah,
worried about this, but I do have the Bills winning. I honestly don't think it's going to be by much, though. Even though with the new head coach and all that, I think Rodgers will try to justify with Salah getting fired here.
he's already tried to. He's already done interviews about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to go 24-20
24 to
Bills.
20. Uh
I just think the Bills make me nervous right now. That's why I had them solo on my power rankings.
Yeah, they make me so nervous. I'm actually picking against them.
That's
I'm
fine.
going Jets, and I'm going Jets. I think this is going to be
So
a
this is your upset
20.
of the week? No, your
Yes.
upset of the week. Yeah, this is your upset of the week. Okay.
Yes, my upset of the week is because Bills are favored, are they not, in this
They
game?
are. They are by only 2.5.
Yeah, so it's a small upset of the week, but this is my upset of the week. I'm picking Jets 20-17.
Don't worry, my upset of the week is the same odds, so don't don't
Yeah,
worry.
I think this is a 17-17 game for most of the game, and then
Yeah.
a last second field goal wins it. I think these teams are much closer than it appears on paper. I mean, Bills are really struggling this year just in terms of rankings. 21st in offense, 22nd in defense. Jets, on the other hand, 27th in offense, third in the league in defense. So Josh Allen is just coming off a game where he got the shit kicked out of him, and then he has to go play the third-ranked Jets in their home stadium. I think it's going to be too much. I like the Bills more than I like the Jets. I'll be rooting for the Bills, but I still think the Jets win. Yeah. And then next up, Casino. Now it's time to move on to the miserable matchups with basically over half the games this week because they are just this is a brutal week for
Yeah.
just uninteresting matchups. So we'll cruise through these real quick. Jaguars at Bills, an overseas game.
Jaguars or Bears, not Bills.
Sorry, Jaguars at Bears. Is this the
London.
London one?
This is London Bridge. Whoop. Going down to London. Whoop. Sorry, stupid.
Yeah, this is the football stadium in London. Who you got in this one?
He's going to be at Wembley, right? Like
No, it's
everything's
at Tottenham.
Oh, the Tottenham. It's Tottenham, by the way.
Tottenham.
The Tottenham Spurs. The Tottenham Spurs. Fuck them. I'm an Arsenal fan, so fuck that team. That's a derby for us, and we hate them. Fuck them. Anyway, moving on. Bears. I'm going Bears. This is, again, I like their defense. Caleb Williams playing a little bit better. I don't care what Lawrence did last week. They finally got their W, but that's where it stops. Bears win. Bears win 23-20.
23-20 Bears. Yeah, I'm picking the Bears as well. Their defense is obviously 9th ranked in the league. Jaguars are
Which still blows me away because I feel like the Bears have much better defense than that.
Yeah, but their offense still 26th in the league. Their passing is getting better week after week. Caleb Williams is getting better week after week. He has 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, almost 1,100 yards, and 63% completion percentage. Jaguars have won 1 game. Trevor Lawrence has actually not been that bad this season. 60% completion, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Maybe MVP Casino, but I'm going Bears over Jaguars. I think this will be, again, a miserable game that I will not watch 1 second of because I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. West Coast time to watch it. But yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring. I'll give the Bears 3 touch or no, I'll give them 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I'll go 17-7. 17-7 Jaguars over the Jacksonville the Bears over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next up, Casino, your team starting a rookie.
This is blowout of the week.
This is Casino's blowout of the week. He has no faith in his new rookie quarterback.
No, he's going to get demolished by that Texans defense, like just demolished.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wondering why, like, why aren't we starting Drake May? Why aren't we starting Drake May? And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, because he's going to die. That's why. That's why. I mean, I'm not a big Jacoby Brissett fan for a starting quarterback. I like him as a backup, but what could the guy do? He was getting absolutely just wrecked every single, like, he has less than a second to throw the football. So, yeah, I feel bad. Drake May is going to get absolutely worked here. I'm 34-10.
Ooh, you know what? I like that score. I was writing literally the exact same score. I had the 34 done, and then I dashed and I put 1 right when you said your score. So we will both go 34-10. I think my 31-10. I'll still take the blowout of the Bucks winning that one, but Texans, we're both picking them. We already talked about them. Texans, top 5 offense, defense. Patriots, 29th offense, 25th defense. They're 6th in the league in rushing, though. So Ramondre Stevenson.
And it's crazy that Ramondre is doing that, and Gibson's doing that. Stop talking.
207.
Yeah, both of those. I don't know how they could do it. Stop talking.
That's a representation of our fans when Casino starts talking on the podcast.
Ouch.
That's Casino's daughter. Again, she's my number one fan on this podcast. So shout out to her. Next up, Casino. The 1-4 Browns at the 2-2 Eagles. This what I'm going to say is this should be the blowout of the week. Okay. If the Eagles, they're getting back AJ Brown, they're getting back Devontae Smith, they're getting back Lane Johnson. If this game is not a blowout against the 15th ranked Cleveland Browns and the 30th ranked offense, where they're 29th in passing, Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the league right now. 26 in rushing because they just have Ford. They don't have Nick Chubb back yet. So Eagles are currently 8th in total defense and 10th in total rushing, which means they're 27th in passing pretty much because they haven't had their top 2 pass catchers and or left tackle for 3 weeks now. If this is not a blowout where the Eagles don't win by minimum 10 points and it's a relaxing game where I'm not stressing about it, I will completely abandon the Eagles this season. The Phillies already
No,
fucked.
yeah, they should do work on the Browns this week.
I'm so ready to put my either my jump on the bandwagon or jump off for my own team, Casino. I'm not even doing reverse jinx this week. The Eagles should and will win this game. I'm picking the Eagles. And
28-10.
28-10, Casino says. I'm going to say 35-10. Okay? I want a full-on blowout, and if it does not happen and it's close, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. And this Sunday, my wife is out of town, so there will be a Sunday night solo show. And if the Eagles lose, prepare for 45 minutes of me just ranting about how shit the Eagles are. So if you love that, come
Well, you
on
can
down
miss the
Sunday.
Sunday show, everybody.
Yeah. Colts at Titans, Casino. Who you got in this one?
My upset of the week at 2.5. I like Joe Flacco. I'm on the Flacco bandwagon train right now. Let's go. Yeah, the Titans, I still just don't know what they are. Like, I don't. I forget that they're a team right now, to be honest. And the only reason that I cared for them before was solely because they had Vrabel.
Yeah.
But Titans, they're 1-3. They're going to go 1-4, and I think the Colts are going to go 3-3. Man, I like Joe Flacco. I like what he did last week. I mean,
This
Joe Flacco, man.
This is the most shocking thing about this matchup and about these teams. Colts 2-3 going into Tennessee, who is 1-3. The Titans right now,
So this
32nd.
wasn't sorry. So this was only mine. So the Colts are expected. No, Titans. Yeah, it's minus. Titans are 2.5. Yeah. So yeah, Titans are expected to win this game. Like,
That is weird. Maybe the only reason they're expected to win, they have the number 1 ranked defense in the league right now, which is shocking. The Titans have the number 1 defense and
yeah,
the number 32 ranked
Joe
offense.
Flacco's gonna rock him. Let's go.
So the Colts, on the other hand, have the 11th ranked offense and the 32nd ranked defense. So the Colts have the worst defense, Titans have the worst offense, and then Titans have the best defense. So this game is just going to be.
Sorry, I'm laughing at what our buddy Brad said in the group chat. This is great.
This game's just going to be weird. I have no idea what the score is going to even be for this game.
Let's go. Let's go 21-14.
21-14. I think Flacco can put up numbers, but they are the number 1 defense. I'm going to say this is a stinker of a game. I'm going 14-10. Yeah, I think he puts up just enough points to win.
No, he's going to run for another 29 yards.
Yeah, that'll be all the difference. He'll run for a first down to win the game. We have 3 more games here, Casino.
Yeah, we got to roll.
Steelers at Raiders. The Steelers 3-2. Raiders shockingly 2-3.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers on this one. I think this is going to be a low scoring affair as well. I'm going to go I'm gonna go Steelers 17, Raiders 10.
17-10 with and you're going Steelers?
Yep.
I am going 24-18, and I'm going Steelers. I think this is a weird one. I think
18.
this yeah,
Okay.
23 or 24-18. Their last matchup was 23-18, so I'm just copying it.
Math.
What 24-18. We'll see how it happens. Maybe they get a
So
safety.
I
I don't know.
mean, they're just gonna kick field goals.
Yeah,
Six field goals. Okay.
yeah, I don't trust the Steelers or I don't trust the Raiders offense at all. I do think this will be a good bounce back game for the Steelers. I think also because this is in Vegas, this is going to be like 70% Steelers fans. I've met way more Steelers fans out here than I've ever met
Steelers
Raiders
fans are
fans.
the no joke. Steelers fans are the best fans in the NFL.
I think I
I'm not
agree.
saying like the nicest fans. I'm just saying they are the most diehard fans in the
And
NFL.
a
They're
shitload
everywhere.
of them live out here. I feel like I've met a
Well,
ton.
there's a shit ton of them that live everywhere. They're
Yeah, that's
everywhere.
true.
There's so many. I can't, yeah, Steelers fans. Kudos to you. You guys are everywhere.
Yeah. And
You
I've
guys
never really
multiply
met a
like fucking
dickhead
rabbits.
Steelers fan.
Yeah,
So
you guys multiply like rabbits.
Next up, Falcons at Panthers. This should be blowout of the week for both of us. 3-2 Falcons at 1-4 Panthers. It's obviously Falcons for both of us.
Yes, I'm
But
gonna
so
go
what's your score?
28-23.
Ooh,
I think Joe Flacco, or not Joe Flacco, um, Andy Dalton, he can put up numbers, man. I seen it. I seen it. I done
I
seen it.
seen it. I'm going 23-17, and I'm picking the Falcons. I do think it'll be close, but
Well,
I
you
think
just hit
the
the spread
Falcons.
on the nail because it's +6 for the Falcons.
Oh shit! I'm not even looking at the spread, so that's good.
You've
And
hit the
then
spread like multiple times.
the weirdest
Oh no.
matchup of the week is the also a weird Sunday night game. Bengals at Giants. Why is this the Sunday night game? Why was this the Sunday night game at the beginning of the season? It makes no sense whatsoever. This is going to be a weird one. 1-4 Bengals at 2-3 Giants. Bengals coming off their best loss where Joe Burrow just lit it up, and then the Giants coming
And
off their best win
I
that was ugly.
I have to go Bengals on this one. I mean, Joe Burrow's just been playing great. I don't care how many close games the Giants have had and they've won a couple. Like, you have to go with Joey B with how he's been playing. You just have to.
Yeah, I flirted with
I
this
mean,
one.
I know I'm right there with you. Like the Giants at home, playing consistent. They're playing consistent football, which is crazy considering they don't have their number one offensive weapon with Neighbors anymore. I mean, Slayton did ball out last game, but I don't know. I just don't think they could replicate. I know the Bengals defense is not great, but I think Joe Burrow is just going to put up too many points on them. I'm going 28-17.
28-17. I'm going 26-22.
Okay. Where are these
26-22
numbers coming
Bengals.
from?
I'm just looking at the last meeting these two teams had and then just picking it based on that. So, but the last time it was Giants 25-22. So this time I'm picking 26-22 Bengals. Just hoping history repeats itself, Casino, at least score
Eh,
wise. So the only games this week we have difference on are the Jets Bills game. So Monday Night Football,
you're
and
insane.
then that's it. So our fate for this week basically comes down to the Jets Bills Monday night game. Our best game of the week is going to be Commanders Ravens for both. My blowout's the Bucks. Yours is the Texans. Our worst game is going to be Chargers Broncos. My upset pick is the Jets. Your upset pick is the Colts. So we'll get extra points if we nail any of those. Now let's hit Casino's Corner, and then
We're
we
keeping it
can
short and
get out of
sweet
here.
today. So the Minnesota Lynx did win Game 5 for the WNBA. Move on to play today at 5 p.m. at the New York Liberty. No matter there are only 2-game difference in wins and losses between these two teams for the season and postseason, but I'm rolling with the New York Liberty. I think they're gonna pretty much sweep with a stellar performance behind Breanna Stewart, and I think that caps it off for the WNBA season. Boom. Just call it a day. Um, and then fun fact though, so for the Aces though, our Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson did get unanimously first time since the only time this happened was the first season the WNBA ever played where there was a unanimous MVP winner for the season, and that was year one, and then this year with Asia Wilson. So hats off to our Vegas Aces and Asia Wilson. But moving on, and then the New York Liberty, who are most likely going to win it. And then you have now over to MLB. Sorry, your Phillies have been eliminated by the New York Mets, which, okay, Mets are doing some stuff. Pretty cool, pretty cool. The Dodgers Padres, this has just been whoever has the hot bat. I talked about it again. It happened again. Dodgers 8-0 against the Pods. This is literally whoever has the hot bat that day. And they are going back to Dodger Stadium though for Game 5. Sadly, shitty, and I'm really sad about that. But that will be tomorrow. The Yankees do lead the series against the Royals 3-2, which I absolutely hate every second of it.
Or no, 2-1.
2-1. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, we have that game. Hopefully the Royals can win one more before they go back over to New York, just to make it interesting. The Tigers looking good. Tigers can win it out today. They start here in about an hour and a half against the Guardians. And so they don't have to go back to Cleveland for a Game 5. I'm rooting for the Tigers. Go Tigers. Just because I have a lot of friends who are the Tigers fan. I can't wait though for that Dodgers Padres game. It's gonna be outstanding. So that's where we sit with all of those guys. Yeah. And moving on from there, we do have my last thing I want to talk about is the hockey season just started, and we do have a first in the NHL where Jessica Campbell for the Seattle Kraken just became the first full-time coach. She's an assistant coach, but a full-time coach for the Seattle Kraken, first female in the NHL to do so. A lot of people are like, oh, this is all for that movement, this and that. No, she's actually hella legit. She played collegiately. She played internationally for Canada. She played at Cornell in college. She also coached the Germans national team for a while. And then this is her most impressive feat and this is why people they need to shut up without, doing any bit of research. I never did any research on her, and I knew who she was because a lot of the NHL pro players, the male players, they would go to her in the off season for skills training. She's one of the best skills training coaches, men or women in the world. So that's why, and I love the interview that the head coach for the Kraken had. They're like, oh, it's cool that, you picked a woman for your assistant coach, this and that, what's your thoughts on her being the first? He's like, I could care less. He goes, I was picking the best coach available, and she's the best coach out there for what we needed. And that's her skills coach, which sucks for all those NHL players who would go to her in the off season for skill practices and, honing in on that now she is now part of the Kraken, and that team's going to get better over the next couple of years because of that. So kudos to her. I mean, she's 32. Great job. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see, and I'm all for it. And it's, again, not because she's a woman or any of that. I know that's what a lot of people are hanging their hats on. I just know, and I've heard of her as an insanely great skills coach, and she's getting recognized for that. So kudos. So that's where we stand. And the hockey season just started, and wow, there was a lot. Just looking into it, there was a lot of high scoring games. I mean, hell, I watched the Knights game yesterday, 8-4, like against the Avalanche. And both of those defenses are supposed to be the two best defenses in the league starting the season, with the Avalanche and the Knights, with their best defensive lines. So, this is going to be a high scoring season, folks. Strap in. All right. Well, that's what I have for Casino's Corner. Wow. We are 2 minutes to spare. 2 minutes to spare before you're hard out.
Another rousing edition of Casino's Corner. Also, I'm going to start doing this this little thing right here, giving you the spotlight.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
that was
I like
cool.
it. Casino's Corner Spotlight. But this, you know what that means. It's the end of the podcast. I will be back Sunday night. Nothing will stop me now from returning with the solo show Sunday
Work will
night.
stop me.
we'll be back together on Tuesday to talk about all the games from college and the NFL. And yeah, this has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Anything else to say, Casino?
Get yourself a deep sink. It's great.
That's the parting words of a wise man.
Yeah.
This has been the Only Sports Podcast. Adios.